So with Mr. B, ready, sir? We're going to try a little bit with our bed exercise. Nice, great job, sir. So in the beginning, if he just goes and targets, just like we mentioned earlier, we're going to feed for all of these moments where he's honing in on the mat. As he gets more fluid, I might, again, sort of meander, then see if he can go ahead and retarget the bed. Yes, and feed for that response. Nice. So right now, again, we're just warming up with the bed. We're not necessarily applying the stay yet. So as he's getting in the groove, we might, again, meander a little bit and then see if we can bring him again back to his bed. Nice. Good job, sir, and feed for that. So again, you'll have to excuse my voice. I have caught another cold because, again, preschool just brings you home all the best stuff. So both Ebba and I are sadly a little raspy, and I'm very sorry. So hopefully everybody can still hear me well enough on the speaker. And again, sorry again for the technical difficulties last week. I didn't realize all the tidbits that had to be charged. I thought it was just the microphones, but it ends up being also the attachment that connects to the phone. It also needs to get charged. So my bad on that part. So for Mr. B, we're going to work a little bit with some of these lovely stay behaviors. So I'm going to ask him for the stay. I'm going to, in the beginning, just start off by doing a little bit of a U shape around him and start feeding for this lovely stay. So again, throughout the stay behavior, I'd recommend to work, again, the duration first. If your pup has a hard time, regain the center position, which could be a sit or a down. Again, reapply your stay and then work it again. So if Mr. B has ants in his pants, which sometimes can happen when we first start off, ready, sit. Then what we may also find to be beneficial is pair sometimes a target or a chew item in the sense of a thing that can be a pacifier while working on this skill. So if Mr. B is saying this is a bit hard, again, we're just warming up. I might do it a little bit softer, see if I can feed for the stationary. Ready? So I'm going to bring him back into a little sit, stay. I'm going to add just very small steps in the beginning and just start working on the duration though. So in my head, if I was counting, let's say up to 3 to 4 seconds, I might sometimes do 7, I might sometimes do about 10, I might go then back down to 3. So it's not going to be too difficult because I don't want to add all 3 Ds at once like we had mentioned. So I may also pair this with a particular like puzzle toy or chew to help encourage Mr. B to find value in being stationary. So I know for a lot of dogs, when we're dealing with some wiggles, it can be nervousness, it can be overexcitement, it can be confusion, not knowing what we're working on. So Mr. B, again, just getting in the comfortable zone. Ready, sit. He's like, hold on, lady, this mat is crooked. So we'll back him up like a little train. Oh, there we go, beautiful. So nice. So he's like, oh, could have sworn he dropped one, but I think he ate it all. Ready, bear? So if, again, when you're first starting off, there are some wiggles, remember that, again, like we've mentioned, learning is not linear. It's kind of like little chunks here and there with a few steps forward, few steps back. So I know we were discussing with Dad this morning how in the beginning Bear was doing about like 6 hours of overly mouthy behavior and getting to be too difficult to deal with at times. And then now Dad was mentioning it's about like an hour or so. So I know we had discussed about like extinction bursts of behavior. So we may have moments where Mr. B was starting to, again, have those moments where originally it was maybe really reinforcing to him, maybe with his previous owners or his previous life experiences. So we may find for Mr. B, ready? Oh, I dropped that one and got stuck with his saliva. We may find for Mr. B that sometimes things might go a little bit bigger with behavior, of course the ones we don't love, until all of a sudden he realizes those give him nothing, and then the behaviors that do give him reinforcement will hopefully replace those behaviors. So if he's doing a lot of moonwalking, so you'll see he kind of backs up, he's not really sure what to do with his body at times. I think sometimes too the leash every once in a while is tickling him, so we'll just move it off to the side. I'm just going to reset him up, get him up and wiggling. So sometimes too, getting up and rebooting can be another great way to restart another skill. So if, let's say, Mr. B says, gee, I'm having a really hard time settling, getting him up and doing a few more little skills with you first. If he prefers a certain side, that's fine. So we want him to realize that maybe, okay, being stationary is tricky, but we can work a little bit with some loose leash walking, get him up in the groove and get him warmed up, and then go back into our little bed. Ready, Bear? And then we'll get a little sit from Mr. Handsome if we can. He's like, my brain is melted already this morning. And two, you're gonna have those days where they're feeling it and days where they're not. So ready, Bear? We'll bring him forward and see if we can get that little sit. There we go, gorgeous. So sometimes, again, if he's given you a little bit of a moment, just see if you can break down the steps into smaller, attainable moments, and then see if from there he can start to build up the concept of the behavior that you're trying to work on. So again, I'm just kind of quickly reinforcing to build up value in this bed again. I may actually go and grab his little bowl too and see if we can work with that. Ready, Bear? So we'll go ahead, and that was not a stay yet. It was just kind of a hangout moment. Just kind of leaving the camera view for 1 second to go grab his little dish that we were practicing with last time. So this one again, ready? Nice. So I might have him practice going and enjoying his food dish on the target and start to build value around the target mat. So this way, the benefit of this is as he's multitasking and enjoying his kibble, I can then meander around, make some distractions. So like I might be playing with maybe my dishes in the sink, or I might go and move a chair a little bit and make some noise. And then as my dog is still hanging out, go and toss some snacks into the food dish and then meander around to go get more noises or distractions. Nice. While the dog is building up that being in that spot, again, is beneficial. So I toss a few more snacks inside. And again, I didn't apply the stay yet. I'm just trying to build up, again, this value around going to our spot and having it seem more fun than whatever I'm working on. So because for a lot of the dogs, as we get up and wiggle, they always tend to want to follow us. Oh, he's bounced off his little nose. So we want to make sure that he's finding it to be appealing, that when I go to wander away, nothing too spooky is happening. So I'm on purpose trying to make some noises, move some of the different distraction objects over here. And again, he's not moving from his bubble, which is important. Nice. Good job. So you could be starting to practice like your tethering system this way. I know he's not attached to anything right now. He is attached technically to his lead, but then no one's holding it right now, which is fine. But you guys may find that practicing with the tether at times could be more about giving him something to work on and see if that helps. I know you guys had mentioned that at times he doesn't go for chews or puzzle toys at the moment because his anxiety has gone up. So I know we had mentioned sometimes medication or natural supplements to help with anxiety. That could again be something that might help him through this process, but not again the end of the world if he's not on anything quite yet. So again, while he's busy working on the bowl, I'm gonna again make some noises, see if I can get him to still hone in. Nice, good job. So I don't mind if he goes and looks at me, but for holding and sort of staying in his bubble, I'm gonna go ahead, yes, and toss some more little snacks inside his bowl and try again with some distractions. Nice. So this is, again, doesn't seem like a huge deal for us to have him just be eating out of a bowl as we're meandering. But remember, for Mr. B, he is a little bit of a, I don't really love the term, but like Velcro dog, where he gets kind of very stuck and he has a hard time sort of ignoring you as you go to get up or as you go to move or as you go to the restroom probably. So for Mr. B, we want him to realize that me leaving isn't too flustering and that he has to come follow me as I'm going and moving through the environment. So this again is building up some resilience of you getting up and wiggling and helping him not find it so overwhelming. Nice. And again, I'm just kind of constantly going and reinforcing by plopping it back into his little food dish. And this again, obviously you're not gonna have a wall of goodies to play with, but you might go and grab your dish towel and wave it around and then drop it. Or you might go and sit at the chair and stand back up and sit at the chair and stand back up. And what you're looking to practice is helping him not think that those behaviors are triggering where he has to get up and then investigate or come follow you. So I know for a lot of folks that are working with separation training, nice job, Mr. B, like working with separation anxiety, we tend to think, okay, well, we're just going to give him something and then wander away and see how it goes. What I find can be helpful is practice while you're hanging out. You stand up and you sit back down. And if he's nice and relaxed, you might feed for that. And then that way you can start to capture moments where he's just kind of chilling as you're doing your everyday routine, which could be working from the office at home or coming into the house and coming out, and work through those little zones that might equal sometimes a trigger of excitement or overwhelmed. So Mr. B did quite lovely with this exercise. So we'll give him a little break. I'll toss a few more little friends into the bowl, and then we'll do another little exercise for Mr. B in just a moment.